Hey guys, Chrissy here for Defender Ammo. Today we are going to share a little bit about our brand ambassador, Jerry Wynn. He's been with us for a few years now. Jerry shoots USPSA out in the world. This year he's actually going to compete in a 3-gun competition, but he represents us in the Southeast on the USPSA circuit. Jerry is the total embodiment of Defender Ammo, who we are, what we stand for. And is just a great human, and we just want to share a little bit about him with you today. So Jerry, I know your backstory. You've shared so much with us that is just the coolest story ever, and I just was hoping that you would share a little bit about your childhood in Vietnam and what it was like before you came here to the States.
I grew up, I was basically born during Vietnam War, and I grew up through the Vietnam War into the end of Vietnam. I can tell you a story. I remember, like, right after 1975, we were living in Connex. You know, like literally, it was me, my mom, and my sister were living in Connex. And then
Shipping container.
Shipping container. It's one of those small ones, not even 30 feet, one just a small one. And one day she went to work, and we went to school, I think, and we come back. The government moved to Connex. And I remember I come home that day. I'm like, oh shit. A house been moved, because the government said, hey, you can't just live in a Connex on the street, you know, wherever you want. So that's one instant, you know. Another one was my mom decided to take a South Vietnam flag, turned it into a pair of shorts, made it for me, so I have something to wear to school. Yeah, I got my ass whooped by the Vietnamese government because I'm not supposed to have any kind of South. We got the North took over.
Wow.
Yeah, that was an ass whooping from hell. I was just a kid. I didn't know anything. I just wear the short because she made it.
So that was the government?
That was the government. Yeah, you're not allowed to have anything that, you know, show the South Vietnam or anything that support American in that time. That was like way back. I was a kid. I was working. I was probably like 7, 8 years old. I pretty much working. School is like when you have time to go to school. Not like over here, it's a mandatory you go to school. Over there, you have to have money to go to school. You don't have money, really, you can't go to school. And then,
I remember a story of you saying something about being under house. Can you tell me about that?
you mean under the house?
You had to hide under a house?
Oh, yeah. Well, when you live out in the country, like, you remember during the Vietnam and Cambodian War? Okay, every house out in the country, I live like way out there, way out in the country. When I say out in the country, it's like there's no electricity, nothing out there. And every night when you go to sleep, every home out in the country have like a tunnel or have like a not basement, we just basically dig a hole and everybody get in and just cover everything up. But during Vietnam and Cambodia, I live near the border, so the Cambodia would come over, literally like either cut you up or kidnap you or get you, whatever it is. So everyone at night kind of crawl underground and sleep, and day you come back up. And I guess the North Vietnamese do same thing to them. So a lot of time.
How old were you when that was going on?
I'm probably about 8, 9 years old, somewhere around. I'm basically just a little kid, just like, why don't we just sleep upstairs like we always do? They're like, you want to get killed? I'm like, oh no, of course not. They say, well, they can get down here. So when I say get down there, I don't mean like everybody have their own place to lay down. Everyone just kind of cram up and just kind of lean against the dirt, you know, just a dirt hole.
To sleep.
Yeah.
And that was just normal. Like
that's just a normal thing.
About it
yeah.
as a kid, were you like, this is not what kids should be doing, or were you thinking?
No,
I think what we do.
This is what we do. This is what everyone does. You know. Yeah, I live on a dirt floor. I sleep on the floor. You know what I mean? And there's no mattress. There's no like bed or anything.
So tell me about the realization of, I'm getting out of here. How old were you when you were like, this is not working for me, I gotta go?
I was 15 years old. 15, I think 14, 15. You know, my mom, my sister and them, you know, say, hey, you know, it's time to leave Vietnam. Actually, honestly, I didn't want to leave Vietnam because I didn't know anything about America. All I know is just it's here. I was like, hey, my life here, I'm born here, my whole, you know, all my friends. When I say friend, it's loosely friend, the kid that I grew up in the village with or in the city with. But when I come to America, actually, my first month in America, I want to go back to Vietnam because
Because it was so different?
It's so different, you know. First city that we flew into, let me tell you how I got in. I flew from Thailand to Germany, from Germany to New York. And if my wife ever finds this picture and she gives it to you guys, we'd probably be divorced, because the picture of me wearing this, okay, in New York City. Okay, we landed in New York. I had on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I just left Vietnam. That's all I had on the whole time. By the time I left Vietnam and got to New York, it's like I think it was snow. And I remember we picking up snow and eating. We're like, oh man, America is great. Fucking get snow, we can eat, we can do all that stuff. And then they realized that, you know, a bunch of Vietnamese refugees wearing short and t-shirts, so they give us a jacket and boot. Now picture this. So my sister grabbed jacket, grabbed boot, put on. I decided to grab. I didn't know this at the time. I grabbed a women high heel boot. I put it on, I zip it up. I got my short on still, and I put on fur coat. I was standing there. I was like, man, Americans smart. They know how to keep the snow off their feet. It's the heel so high. If you look at the picture, you'll laugh your ass off. You're like, what the hell are he wearing? So literally, like, I zip it all the way up here, and I got a pair of shorts on and a t-shirt, and I got a fur coat on. Looked like a pimp, I guess. And that's what I wear.
Right,
I was standing there with my two sisters and mom taking pictures, all proud. You know, they all got their boot on, and I think my youngest sister, she got a rubber boot on, and we all take a picture. That picture's somewhere in the family. I'm hoping my mom loses it.
I hope that we can dig that
My
one
wife
up.
trying to track it down just so she can pose in the face and look at Jerry when he first come over. And that was in New York City, where we first, you know, point of entry in New York City.
Yeah, we're going to need to see that one.
Yeah.
So back up a little bit and tell me about leaving, just getting out of there, your attempts to leave. What was that process like? 'Cause I can't imagine you just booked a Delta flight and just...
No. It's not that simple. You can't just get on the plane and go. You know, a lot of people go by boat, you know, and sometimes they end up in Malaysia, Philippines, China, you know, depending how, you know, what route they're taking. And a lot of people go by foot. You go from Vietnam to Cambodia and to Thailand, or somehow they're lucky, they go from Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, and in a refugee camp there. Depend on how, you know, who you pay and who you talk to and how's the route. This whole process of, I mean, you have to have money too to do it. And then they have a way that you can go, but you have to apply. You have to be like your father have to be American, served in Vietnam. You know what I mean?
Do you want to shift focus to what it was like once you were here?
Yeah.
Settling into the American life.
Yeah, that transition a little bit rough at first because I wasn't used to the food. Somehow we end up in a small redneck town. We were the only Asian in that town.
So you came into New York and you're saying redneck town, so...
Well, I ended up in Newnan, Georgia. I think when I was growing up, I think they have like 1 or 2 red lights, that's it. And you know...
How did that come about?
My mom, soon she got in, we was in Atlanta, and she ended up working at the Vietnamese restaurant, met this guy, and he took us from Atlanta to Newnan, that's where he's from, and threw us right into school, threw me right into 8th grade, which I didn't speak any English. And I remember the first day riding the bus, I got off at wrong school, and I stand there, it's like any minute now someone would come get me to bring me into school. I stand there all day. I remember standing waiting, and later on, next day another bus show up. I was like, oh, it's time to go home. I guess I'm first day just practice, get on it. But I didn't know I was just standing out there all day. I got on the bus and I didn't know where I lived. I didn't speak any English. So the bus dropped everybody off. I was still on the bus.
Yeah.
I think my stepdad realized, like, we're missing Jerry. So the next day he put a little tag, drop him off school here. This is the address here. It's like a lost and found luggage. So when I get off to school, the teacher knows, oh, this is a new kid that doesn't speak English. So.
Was there anyone else in your same situation in that school? Anyone else?
No, I was the only one. So my sister was younger, so they get in going like, grade school, kindergarten.
What age? Oh, kindergarten. She started really young.
Yeah, because she was born, the youngest one born in 75. So, but you know, none of us speak English, so they can put it in. Since I was 15, going on 16 by the time I got here. So they put me right in the 8th grade. I didn't speak any English either.
And at that time, I can't imagine they had classes that was, catered to English as a second language.
No, none of those things. Basically, and my wife can tell you she happened to be in the same school, and just all these girls just want to take a picture with the kid that don't speak any English. It's like a toy. I remember my wife can tell you they drag me around, take a picture, pose. Everybody posing a picture with me. Say, hey, we got one of this like an exotic bird. You know, we want to take a picture. You know.
We had a great, super long interview with Jerry, and it was just so interesting that we just had to keep asking questions. So we've cut it into a few pieces. Please continue to watch in a separate video that will be a 3-part series, and enjoy the whole thing, guys. Thanks for sticking with us.